My entitled neighbor wants copy of grandma's will. When my grandmother was diagnosed with cancer, she opted for no treatment. She had watched her husband go through chemo, radiation, and surgery, and he was miserable the whole time. She didn't want that for herself. Her family supported her. Over the next year, she gifted items to family and friends, told us to write our names on the things we want, take what we wanted, etc. There were conditions. No, you can't have that. It's a family heirloom meant to go to Aunt and her kids, or to Dad and his kids. We all knew what those items were and who they were going to, so that was easily settled after she died. The house was inherited by my father, who very suddenly and unexpectedly passed away 2 weeks later. I inherited the house at that point. The next door neighbor, we'll call him Todd, came over several times, upset that he and his kids, F21, M19, weren't invited to Grandma's funeral. There wasn't one. We were all too busy reeling from my father's death. Weren't presented with a copy of the will. It only included family members, and he knew Grandma loved his kids like her own. She didn't. She complained about them coming over all the time, stealing her water to fill their pool, and she had to tell them to stop calling her Grandma. He wanted to know if I would allow his kids to go through the house to see if there was anything they'd like to take to remember her by. Okay, first of all, dude, my grandma died 4 weeks ago, and dude, my dad died 2 weeks ago. I thought he was awfully rude, but I offered to let them go through the boxes I had packed that I was planning to donate, and he was offended. I mean, mortified. He said his daughter and son had their hearts set on some items that were family heirlooms, and I literally laughed at him. I explained they were family heirlooms and would be staying with me, and two of the items had already gone home with my brother. He said, my kids were her family, and she would have gifted those to them. They should have been included along with everyone else when everything was divided up. Keep in mind that none of us knew this guy or his kids other than the neighbors next door. They were never at any family gatherings that were held at her house, and the only time I ever heard her talk about them was when she was complaining about them. Especially when she caught them using both her hoses to fill up their pool and then came over complaining because she had put locks on the outdoor faucets. Luckily, Todd's house was in foreclosure and he moved away about a year later. Small update. This happened a little over 10 years ago. We were all prepared for Grandma's passing, and while we were sad, we were also, but my dad's passing was unexpected and absolutely devastating. He was my best friend, and I feel his loss almost daily. I am surprised at how much everyone's condolences mean to me, even after so many years. Todd brought up the subject 3 times in the year he lived next door, all within about 2 weeks. This particular incident was the end of it. The first 2 times were eyebrow-raising hints where I walked away not really sure if I was interpreting his words correctly. This time, he was brazenly clear, and when I laughed and told him he couldn't have the items he listed, he never brought it up again.